Hello, everybody. My name is Nicholas Sadowski. Welcome to Daybreak. I'm your host. We have a great show today, two amazing guests, and I'd like to thank you for joining us. Alright, everybody, just before I begin, I'd just like to say I am having a little bit of allergies, so if I start sneezing randomly, I don't have coronavirus, I'm just having allergies, so I apologize for that. But, like I said before, we have a great show today, and we have our first guest from the wonderful state of New York. And speaking of New York, yesterday was Billy Joel Day, who's my favorite artist of all time, but yesterday, July 18th, was Billy Joel Day. It was proclaimed by New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo to commemorate his 100th performance at Madison Square Garden. And another fun fact, Billy Joel actually has a Guinness Book of World Records award for the person who has performed the most at Madison Square Garden. It's pretty amazing. He's performed there like over 100 times. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. He basically lives there now. So yeah. And in other news, Amazon Prime Video has released a new movie called My Spy, featuring Dave Bautista, or Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy, Kristen Schaal, the voice of Mabel in Gravity Falls, Chloe Coleman, Ken Jeong, Devere Rogers, Greg Brake, Parisa Fitzhenley, and Nicola Correa Demood. So it has a great cast, but it also has an amazing director, Peter Segal. And he's directed many movies, but one of my favorites of his is Get Smart, featuring Steve Carell and Anne Hathaway. So go watch My Spy, and if you haven't seen Get Smart, go watch Get Smart. But don't do it right now, because right now we have my first guest, who is an amazing swimmer. She's from New York, like I said at the beginning of the episode. She's an amazing person, a sparring doctor, an all-around good person. Please welcome to the... Oh, crap, I did the wrong thing. I put the wrong person up. Hold on. Let me do this again. No. Not that. My system's malfunctioning for some reason. All right, good person. Please welcome to the show, Cora Thompson. Hi, Cora.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm amazing.
Good.
How is life in New York right now?
It's good. I finally started to swim back up again, so that's good. Same thing. Boring. Coronavirus.
Well, I'm sure that it's gonna get better very soon. Well, hopefully it's gonna get better very soon. But today we're here to talk about a couple of things. So something I've recently learned about you is the fact that you dream of competing in the Olympics. Tell me more about that.
I always had that dream since I was little. When I first started swimming, I was 4, and I would always watch Missy Franklin, Michael Phelps, Katie Ledecky swim in the Olympics, and I'd be like her. And I just love to compete, and I think that, and I'm good at long distance, which is Olympic-sized pools.
Hmm.
So I think if I try my best and I get to that state and get to that state of mind, then I want to get there one day.
And so you obviously can do that Olympic-sized swimming pool, which is amazing. I'd probably just die out at the end there. But have you taken any other steps into achieving that goal?
Since I've gotten older and taller, my times have gotten shorter. Like my swim times, they've gotten shorter because I actually joined a new team, so my time has gotten way better since the last team I've been on. So you just have to try your best and work hard, because I have practices 5 days a week, 8 to 10 morning. So I only have weekends off.
Well,
So
thankfully I showed on the weekend.
yeah.
And with swimming, how many laps do you go back? Do you have to do that thing where at the end I've done swimming in the past, but I don't think I've done Olympic-sized swimming. How many laps do you have to do, and how tiring does that get to go back and forth on an Olympic-sized pool?
So you have the 25s, 50s, which is 2 laps down and back. But in an Olympic size pool, you're only going down because the smaller size pools that they call it, I forgot what they call it. It's like short distance.
Okay.
It's like two short distance pools put together, which is an Olympic size pool. So like in a short size pool, a 50 is 2 laps back and forth, but
Right.
in a pool, you're just going straight down.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That and you have to go back as well, or you just go all the way down?
No, you just go all the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it sort of when you have to compete with other people in the pool, do you try and because when I was swimming, I knew everyone that was just trying to beat everyone else. Do you always, when you're practicing, do you always try and beat the people around you, or do you just try and get there without getting too tired and then build it up over time and then become faster?
Well, I think all of us, when we're little, always like the fact of us winning. But when you get older, you're beating the clock. You have to beat the clock. You have to beat your past time. So you
What?
can add time or you can take off time.
Okay. What's your
So
fast?
what you say? Sorry.
Sorry, I interrupted you. You can
No,
finish.
it's my
Uh, yeah. What's your fastest time?
fastest time is in the 50 for short distance. It was like um why is this not coming in my head? It's like 27 something,
Hmm.
something like that. But um, yeah, that's my fastest time right now is in the 50 freestyle. Hopefully, it gets shorter. But, you know, if I add time, I'm in so much trouble if I add time. My new coach is very hard.
And with the swimming, do you just do front stroke, or do you have to also do breaststroke and backstroke?
All the strokes. You either have the IM, which is butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, in one swim, and you can do up to a mile breaststroke, up to a mile in freestyle backstroke, but you can't do it in butterfly because butterfly, it's horrible. Butterfly is the worst thing ever. But it's, yeah, you get up to a mile and stuff like
A mile?
that.
God,
A mile is 60 laps in a short distance pool, and a long distance is 40.
I
Thank
wow.
God I haven't a mile yet because I'm not old enough. So thank God I haven't gotten to there. So that's
I
good.
well, I like to jog or run a mile, and my fastest time is like 6 minutes and like 45 seconds mile, but I'm running. I could not do swimming for a mile. I don't know how people do that. That is ridiculous.
I know it's bad. Hold on, sorry, my cat's being a pain in the butt. Um, it's it's a lot. I'm glad I haven't done it yet, but the longest swim I've ever done is a 500, which is 20 laps.
Oh my God. I can't I'd probably be able to do 5 laps and like, you know what, I'm done.
Yeah,
That must be so tiring.
yeah. That's why we swim 5 days a week every morning because I haven't been swimming for like 3 months because coronavirus.
Like, yeah.
I've finally gotten back into it, and that's why we swim so often. Is because if you just stop swimming, it's so bad.
Yeah, I could imagine.
I
That
know it's so bad.
I just for anyone who can swim a mile, I don't care what medal you get, you're amazing.
Yeah,
That's just wow.
yeah. I've
Um,
my friends have done it. They've thrown up in the pool. It's I know it's bad. It's gross.
anyone passed out before? Just like,
Yes.
oh
Um,
wow.
and where was I? I was in Colgate. I was in Colgate. I was in the university. I was swimming in the University of Colgate, and one of my friends was they were doing the mile, and all of a sudden afterwards they just like their legs just weaken up and like give out.
Hmm.
It's like and like also with breaststroke because that's my favorite stroke. I have really good times in that. Like if you swim the hardest in breaststroke, your legs just weaken out and like they just give
Yeah,
up. It's horrible. Like afterwards, like my legs will be shaking, and I'm like, I can't warm down.
I hate breaststroke. It's the worst. Uh,
Yeah,
honestly, I prefer backstroke. It's just easiest for me.
yeah. Backstroke is pretty easy. When I was little, I used to be really good at it. It's just like I don't know. I just don't have that. Ugh, I love backstroke.
Yeah.
Breaststroke, like like you just have to go hard, and that's just my favorite stroke to go in.
Hmm.
Just push, 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 and use your legs. And I have most of my muscle in my legs. So.
Well, that's a good thing. You'd probably be really good at running too, but without the resistance from the water. And another thing that I've actually learned about you is that you want to go into sports medicine. Was the fact that you do a sport what tempted you into that specific type of medicine rather than, say, dental or veterinary?
I just love sports. I love the idea of sports. And my sister Julia, she goes to Niagara, and
Right.
she's always talking about her trainer and stuff like that. And I eventually, I can't say it. I want to get to be like a go into big colleges and or big NFL teams or baseball teams and just be like trainers and stuff like that. But if I was to do that, I needed to go for sports medicine, which is I need to go into school being an orthopedic doctor and do residency, and then I'll take up the profession of sports medicine. So
Well, that'd
that's
be a,
yeah.
well, you're gonna be very smart because I know all the doctors I know are basically geniuses. Um, so congratulations on that. Do you plan on taking any courses in your current school to prepare you for medical school?
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure I do a lot of after school programs with science and biology. And I know when you get to your senior year, you can work for people, like work for like eye companies like glasses and stuff like that. I know someone who actually got a full ride scholarship to Columbia. She's going to school to be a neurosurgeon, and she got like in her senior year, she was able to work with an eye company. So I can probably work for like bone and joints. I know work with PTs and stuff like that. So that's what I eventually want to do. But my school provides a lot for
Yeah, that's good.
after school stuff.
Yeah, my school doesn't have medicine related clubs. We just sort of have a variety of sports or debate or something like that, which is good for me.
We have like science club after school and stuff like that.
What I would be terrified of if I became a doctor would just, I know that you're going to sports medicine and not like neurosurgery or something like that, would just be dealing with humans. I would not be able to do anything. I'd be like, no. And I just run out of the room and just escape the building. I don't
I,
know.
I just love taking care of people. I've always loved doing that. I love taking care of my mom, my sisters, and stuff like that. I just knew that I was either going to go into the medical fields because, taking care of people I just love doing. Like, say, taking care of my cats, I love doing that. Taking care of my family members, I love doing that. Um, I actually have a job. I work with little kids. I teach them how to swim. I love teaching them how to do that. I love thinking about other people first than myself. So I just feel like I would really be good in the medical field.
I don't not like taking care of people. I'd just be terrified to work with like organs or something and just, ugh.
I want to go into bones. I don't want to like cut into
Yeah,
like I can do rib cages and legs and pop in shoulders in place and stuff like that. But I'm not really like in a hospital. I'm like cutting open people. I'm gonna
yeah,
just
nope.
have a doctorate in orthopedics.
Yeah. Well, having a doctorate in anything is a
Yeah.
enormous um, landmark for anyone. So when you get that doctorate, you're gonna have like an amazing party or something because that's an amazing accomplishment. And I know it's a little ways away. I don't remember if you mentioned this, because I know you said you do clubs at your school. You're going to do clubs at your school now. But do you have a college or university or a medical school that you have in mind now?
I want to go to a school that actually Missy Franklin went to. She's an Olympic swimmer. It's in California. It's called U some. It's a school in California, which my family wants to move to. So looking in colleges in California, and there's a lot of good colleges for medical students and stuff like that. So there's I always forget the name of it. I forgot.
UCLA?
Yeah, I think so. I kind of want to go to there. I want to get a scholarship to there. I definitely want to get a scholarship there for swim. They have a really good swim program there. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, every single person on this show has always said they want to go to a college in California. And it's just consistently. Grace wanted to go to California. I think Ben wanted to go to California. TJ wanted to go to California. Everyone that comes on this show always wants to go to a school in California.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, my mom is going to get her doctorate in psychiatric therapy, I think. So she has 3 more years of college, and then she wants to have a practice out there in California. And I love the colleges down there. I love how it's always sunny. I just love the sun. I hate winter, so
well, yeah, it's going to be very, very sunny in California.
yes.
Actually pretty hot today where I am, but yeah, California is gonna. I mean, the place is basically brown, so you're gonna be good with sun.
Yes.
And you can always go swimming because your state's basically surrounded by
Yeah.
water.
Mhm.
And with your love for swimming, I noticed that your Instagram profile is actually called Cora Swimmer.
My mom made that account when I was like 5, and I've never changed the name. Absolutely never changed the name. I don't know why. I tried changing the name. I just haven't. I've
You
had that profile since I was super duper little.
used to keep that name.
I know. I always.
What is the hardest thing about swimming? Is it just keeping going until the end? What's the most difficult part?
The most difficult part is first, every swimmer adding on time is the worst feeling ever. Um, with swimming, you have to put a lot of your life into it. So, like every morning, every afternoon, you have to put a lot of your life into it and put a lot of your life into it. And I've just always loved swim. I just love putting, like, if I have a bad day at school, always love going swimming because it takes my mind off of things. It's
Right.
kind of good mind takeoff, like it's just like I don't know, it's just swim is very close to me, and if I ever stopped, I don't know what I would do. I don't know. That's why I want to make it into the Olympics because I won't stop and stuff like that once I get older.
If you make it into the Olympics, I will fly to wherever the Olympics are and cheer. Because you want to accomplish so many amazing things. Get a doctorate, go into the Olympics and medicine. The list that you're making for yourself is just amazing.
Yeah.
So bravo to you. Even if you haven't gotten there yet, just the fact that you're taking steps to accomplish those is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Uh,
I've always wanted to like think big for myself. I've always wanted to I want to get out of New York, do this, like make a good life for myself so I can do whatever I want.
yeah, well, that's a great mindset to have.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it is 10:20, so I do have to let you go. But I'd like to thank you so much for coming on the show.
Anytime.
All right. It was a great interview. I'm not kidding about that flying to wherever the Olympics are. I will do that. Um, so congratulations, and
Thank you.
anytime you want to come back on, feel free.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so that was my interview with Cora Thompson from the wonderful state of New York. And now we can actually fill in our states. It's a little out of focus because Instagram is annoying, but we've had a guest from New Hampshire, New York, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. I want to get to the entire New England area, Maine, Vermont, Connecticut. Uh, Highly unlikely, but I can always dream. Like Cora said, dream big. Or she sort of said that. But I'd like to thank her so much for coming on. Sports medicine, the Olympics, just an amazing checklist. So if you have a dream you want to accomplish, take steps to accomplish it. And don't feel weird about setting goals that are super high or out of reach for you because they're not always out of reach. And if you write them down and you try to accomplish them, you might actually get there. So write a list of the things you want to accomplish and then start taking steps to do those things. It's my message and Cora's message for you today. But my second guest today is one of my best friends. Like I said, he's an amazing friend of mine, a great golfer. I don't have a lot of golfers on the show. He's the first one. And a great person. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Thomas O'Toole. Hello, Tommy.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. So we're here to talk about golf, and we've had no one on the show talk about golf before, so this will be the first. And my experience with golf, if you can even call it that, is in mini golf, and I'm not even great at that. So what is the difference between mini golf and regular golf? Like I know that the putter is different, and obviously the length of which you hit them is different, but what else is different about the game?
Well, it's like a lot more serious competition, especially when you're competing with different schools. And it's a lot more like you get to meet more people from the other schools, and it's just like a really fun time. It's a lot harder, especially, it's a lot more skill
Right.
to you know, hit the ball farther and more accurate than in mini golf would be.
Yeah, I've looked at, so I've obviously held a mini golf putter and they're very thin, and I looked at a regular golf putter and I don't understand how you hit with that thing because it seems weirdly balanced. It looks odd.
Yeah, it was hard to, because I was so used to like mini golf, like when I was a kid, and it
Right.
was hard to get used to the different putters and just like the different clubs in general. It was just like oddly balanced and hard to get used to at
Right.
first.
And I've seen in movies like people saying, "Oh, it looks like a 40 this and give me that putter." So what are the different putters used for?
Well, you only have one putter, and then there's different like wedges or drivers, which have different angles on them.
Oh,
And the more the angle they have, the higher they go or the farther they go. And
okay.
so usually the ones with the higher angle go more up and shorter length, and like the ones with the lower angle go like farther
Right.
than the ones with the higher angles.
And with swinging them, like how hard do you have to hit the ball? Because I know it has to go very far. So how hard do you have to swing that thing to actually get the ball far enough?
It's actually not as hard as you would think.
Oh,
The club does most of the work for you. So it's basically well, the driver especially does most of the work for you, but the wedges and like the wedges and like the putter, they you have to swing a little bit harder with those.
and do you have to? Can you see the flag well, or do you have to have like a estimate of where it is and just hope that it gets near the hole?
Usually at the beginning of the hole, there's like a map next to the start, and it says like what the course looks like, and sometimes it's like it curves so you can't really see the flag
Right.
over at the other end. So you look at the map and you're like, oh well, I need to hit it 500 yards or like something like that.
And one difference that I definitely know about mini golf and golf is that mini golf has all of these like obstacles. They have the water, and then they have the sand, and then they have like the freaking volcano or something. And
Yep.
with golf, the only obstacle I know of is sand. Is there anything else in golf?
Sometimes there's like a river that runs through and like a pond that you need to hit it over in order to get it onto the fairway at the other side. But that's basically about it.
And what happens if you lose a ball? You just that's it. You don't get to continue, or you just get a new ball and place it around where you lost the last one.
Yeah, you get a new ball and you just place it where like near where you lost the last one. Like
Right.
if you can't find the other one.
And where do you golf around here?
Well, our like home spot is in Rockland because
Okay.
we don't have a golf course in Norwell, but we usually traveled like to other towns. We golfed at the Situate Golf Course. We golfed in Whitman, and we like all over Massachusetts basically.
And you said you compete with other schools in this?
Yeah, we like travel to their town and compete with that school.
And so you said that your home is like in Rockland. So if you have someone coming to you, you both go to Rockland and you do it there.
Yeah.
And with the going against, so how do you score? And I don't know how you score in golf. So what I know there's like terminology for zero or something, but how does
Yeah.
it, you actually do you want points? Do you want less points?
You want less points. Yeah. So there's this thing called par, which is what you're aiming to get at least, and anything below that is like really good.
Right.
But par is what like you're aiming for. And anything above that is not not necessarily bad, depending on how high you are, but it's not ideal.
Right.
Anything below that, it's like really good.
So if like the par is 8, you want to strive for like 7, but 8 is fine.
Yeah.
All right. That makes sense because like and you add up the amount of hits you took to get to the hole.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like the drive counts as one, and then anything past that also counts as one.
All right. And at the end, you just add them all up, and whoever has the most wins. And with teaming, is it just you add up all the team scores and all the other team scores, and you see who has the least amount of points?
We usually match like one person from our town into someone with the other town, and they go up against each other, and whoever wins that gets a point for their school.
Oh, okay.
And then there's 8 people on each team, so whoever wins the most wins.
And with golf, I keep saying and a lot. But with golf, do you have to hit it so that, is there forest around it? Because I've seen other golf courses where there's forest around it. Do you have to worry about it going in like the woods or something and never finding the ball again? Like, do you have to worry about that, or is it just more flat?
Yeah, no, that it's happened to me a couple times where it's gone in the woods. It's once it goes in the woods, it's basically a lost cause unless you somehow miraculously find it, which I've only done like once. So,
We used to live in a town. I don't know why this kept happening, but we kept ending up with golf balls in our, and we didn't even live near a golf course. We just had kept ending up with like golf balls in our yard. Are there any houses around where you practice where like you sometimes hit like golf balls into people's yards or something?
I do have a house in New Hampshire where the people next door to me, they hit golf balls off their porch into the lake that we're on.
Oh.
And sometimes like it'll hit off something and go and ricochet into the front of our yard, but that's about it.
Well, the good thing about that is you practice golf, so you can just keep the golf balls and practice golf.
Yeah.
Um, and what is the most difficult? Well, actually, when did you start golf?
I actually started I think 2 summers ago, and then that year I went onto a golf team.
And what's the most difficult thing about learning golf for the first time?
Definitely the swing because I used to play baseball,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and yeah, so the swing isn't really a lot different. It's just like trying to get the club like to the ball because I'm used to
Right.
swing like this, and I have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
swing like down. And that's a lot harder to do.
yeah. I was gonna say it seems like I played baseball and I was taught how to swing and everything. So I was just imagining that you just instead of hitting like this, you just hit downward instead.
Yeah.
And with the ball sits on the tee, right? It's called the tee.
Yep.
All right, I'm trying to learn my golf terminology here. And how does those things go flying? So like you just have to keep renewing them. What happens if you don't hit the ball? Is that like a point, or do you lose something?
Yeah, no, it's a you get a stroke.
Oh,
So if you're not aiming, like if you swing and you're just doing like a practice swing and you accidentally hit the ball, it doesn't count as a point.
right.
But if you're meaning to swing, like and hit the ball and you miss the ball, that counts as a swing.
Okay, so that adds to your point score.
Yeah,
And who is your favorite golfer?
Tiger Woods. Only
That
the
is the
best.
only names I know in golf. And one of my questions actually was, have you competed competitively? But before you went on the team, were you just doing it for fun? Would you ever imagine that you'd join a team? Would you just,
When I first started, it was just doing lessons with a couple of my friends at actually the golf course in Rockland, which was our home base anyway. But yeah, I did a couple lessons there, and I was hoping to get on the golf team, but I didn't really know because it was my like first year. So yeah, it worked out obviously, but yeah,
is this golf team connected to the school? Like, is it a Norwell golf team, or
yeah.
is so? What I know about school sports is that there tends to be a like there's different team, like there's team A, team B, and sort of like a different there's multiple teams for something. Is there multiple teams for golf, or is it just one team?
There was a varsity team and a junior varsity team. The varsity team was basically like juniors and seniors,
Right.
and the junior varsity was sophomores and freshmen. So yeah.
And when you go and when you become a junior next year, um, sort of next year, where are you going to go for varsity? Can you stay back in junior varsity, or you just have to go to varsity?
You can, but it's highly unlikely. It depends on how many kids there are,
Right.
like trying out for the team.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm normally when people bring up things, usually I'm scared of them. I'm not scared of golf, but I am worried that I'm going to be absolutely terrible at it. As I'm already terrible at mini golf, and mini golf isn't even that hard. But we actually have some audience questions. If I can click it, there we go. Question from the audience: how do you control how far you hit the ball off the tee?
Um, Basically like the power or like you want to get like the most contact on it. There's like a sweet spot on the club. It's like directly in the middle. There's literally like a spot
Oh, okay.
on the club where you're aiming to hit it. And if you get it there, it goes the farthest. Or if you just like the power that you have on your swing.
Yeah, and I've seen the images of golf clubs. I've actually held one, but the actual putter of the golf club seems very bulky. Why is it that like because many golf clubs are basically just a line of metal that you hit the ball with, or
Yeah.
so why is a professional golf club so bulky and weirdly shaped?
I think it's because the green, like where you putt from, is sometimes like really big, need weight behind it
Okay.
to get it that far.
And with can you I've seen again I've seen it. My only experience in real golf is seeing it through movies. But I've seen on movies people hit them into sand and it's like impossible to get out. Is it actually impossible to get out of sand or something? Or like
It's really hard to. It depends on like the way like the bunker really is because there's sometimes like a shelf above it and you have to hit it over like the shelf, but sometimes it's just like it's like smooth into like the green, so it's not that hard, but it depends on where you are.
and have you ever gotten a hole in one?
I have not, no. But someone on my team did during a practice, Adam Long.
Oh, yes.
Yep, he got a hole in one during practice.
That I don't understand how someone does that in real golf because that is very far away and aiming it accurately.
Yeah, I don't know how he did it either. It went straight in the hole. I'm surprised it didn't bounce out.
Yeah, that's straight in the hole.
Yep.
This one, that wow. Yeah,
Yep.
you skill. It didn't even like just roll in; it just went straight to the hole.
Yep.
That is incredible.
We all started like Adam freaked out the most, but we all were like, "How did that happen? Like, how has he managed to do
Imagine.
that?"
Um, do you have any tips for people who are starting to do golf and don't know what to do yet? So, do you have any tips for those people?
Well, you really have to stick with it. Like, because when I started, I was awful. Like, really didn't want to like pursue it anymore because I didn't really feel like there was any point.
Right.
But I stuck with it, and eventually I made the golf team. So I'd just say like stick with it, and you'll definitely get better. It just takes time.
Yeah, I would imagine that that's the case for most things, like with music or with any sport. It's like if you don't,
Yeah.
you get, you have to stick with it to like it. That's actually happened to me with piano. I didn't really stick with it. I'm like, you know what, this is not worth it. So, but with golf, I would imagine that when you, how many rules are there in golf that you have to? I talked with Riley about fencing, and there was like a ton of rules, and made a joke about carrying around a fake rule book just to remember all of them. How many rules are in golf? Because it doesn't seem too complicated, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's not that complicated. It's not that many, honestly. It's like basically if you hit it into the woods and you have to drop a ball, it's +1.
Okay.
And it's just things like that. It's like adding or subtracting like um strokes that you've taken on that hole, but that's basically about it.
And my final question, because we basically all have time, but I have a game for you. But my final question is so you said there's different types of putters. There's the wedge, the driver, normal one kind of. How
Yeah.
many different types of them are there?
There's a lot because there's the different degrees on the wedges.
Okay.
So I'd say there's like 10 of those. And then there's the driver, and then you have your putter, which you only have one of those. So there's a lot of different clubs. You're only supposed to have, I think, like 14 clubs in your bag at once.
Oh
And
wow.
if you have over that, you have to put some back.
I know I said it was my last question, but this is definitely my last question. Do you do you have to buy the like poles and then the actual ends to it separately, and you just attach them differently? Or
You
do you,
can, but I prefer not to. I just buy the whole club.
all right, so I'm not gonna ask any more questions. So thank you so much for coming on and talking about
Yep.
golf. I knew nothing about golf before, and now I know a little bit more about golf. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
But we're not done yet because we have a game, and this is my favorite game to play with any audience member, and it tends to be an audience favorite. Guess that song.
Oh
Um,
God.
if you haven't seen the show before, I will explain the rules. A little complicated. So I'm going to read the first verse of a five random songs. So there's no accompaniment, there's no music, it's just me reading the lyrics. And I'll read them to you in segments of first line, the first three lines, and then the full verse. If you can guess the song on the first line, you get 3 points. If you can guess it after me reading three lines, you get 2 points. If you guess it after me full verse, 1 point. No points if you don't get it. And it's a +1 if you can also guess the band.
Okay.
But you have to guess the band with the song to get that +1. If you lose a point, if you guess it incorrectly, you will lose a point. And yeah, so that's all the rules. Do you have any questions on the rules?
Nope.
Okay, so I've tried to mix in old and new songs here. I have three sort of new, four sort of new, and one old. First one, If You Ever Leave Me, Baby.
I don't know that.
All right. If you ever leave me, baby, leave some morphine at my door, because it'd take a whole lot of medication.
Still don't know it.
All right, so this is the full verse. If you ever leave me, baby, leave some morphine at my door, because it'd take a whole lot of medication to realize what we used to have. We don't have it anymore.
I don't know.
All right, so that was "It Will Rain" by Bruno Mars.
Okay.
All right, so you're at 0 right now. I'm not gonna go into negatives because I find that unfair. All right, so you're at 0. Next song. You gotta help me. I'm losing my mind. All right, you gotta help me. I'm losing my mind. Keep getting the feeling you want to leave all but keep ugh. Keep getting the feeling you want to leave this all behind. Thought we were going strong.
Still don't know it.
All right. You gotta help me. I'm losing my mind. Keep getting the feeling you want to leave this all behind. Thought we were going strong. I thought we were holding on, aren't we?
No.
It was
I've
"History"
got nothing.
by One Direction.
Ah, okay.
Actually, I like that song a lot. It's very catchy.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, well, it's not, from my listening to it, it doesn't sound like their other songs. But, I haven't really listened to a lot of their other songs.
Yeah.
So, this next song, I actually had to scratch this one out because I had to swear in it, so I'm going to read off my computer here. Next song. "So We Live Out in Our Old Van." So we live out in our old van, travel all across this land, me and you.
It sounds familiar.
And I know that you like country, so this should be familiar. All right, full verse. Well, it's 2 verses, but this one's super short, so I'm combining 2. So we live out in our old van, travel all across this land, just me and you. And we'll end up hand in hand, somewhere down on the sand, just me and you.
Oh my God. Is it? I think I know what it is, but I'm not 100% sure.
Do you want to guess the band?
Sure. Is it Luke Combs?
No.
It's not? Okay. Then I don't know it.
It is
I
"Free" by Zach Brown Band.
oh, dang it. I knew that one.
I actually love Zach Brown Band. They're one of my favorites.
Yeah, they're really
Um,
good.
all right, this one is an old song, and it's one of my favorite songs, actually. All right. You want a love to last forever.
I
I'm
don't know
saying
yet.
that. All right. You want a love to last forever, one that will never fade away. I want to help you with your problem.
Still don't know
All right.
it. I'm not very good at this.
You want a love to last forever, one that will never fade away. I want to help you with your problem. Stick around, I say.
Don't know it.
You know the person?
No.
All right. It is "Coming Up" by Paul McCartney. And I love that song. I have it in my playlist. I listen to it before I came on the show. It's super energetic, so it helps me get pumped up for the show.
But I do know you like the Beatles, so.
Yes. Well, Paul McCartney solo, actually.
Yeah.
But I actually did listen to a Beatles song, actually, today already. um, all right, this is the last song, and you should definitely get this one. I asked you, before I came on the show, who your favorite artist was, so you should definitely get this. Hadn't Had a Good Time.
Not yet. I know who it is, but
Yeah.
I don't know the song yet.
Hadn't had a good time since you know when. Got talked into going out.
Oh, Hurricane by Luke
Yes.
Combs.
Yes. So since you got the band, you get 2 points. That puts you like 3rd, I think.
Eh,
We had a tie for 1st, and then I think Owen Comiskey or someone I did got 2nd, so that means you were 3rd with 2 points. But this is my favorite play. It's just fun to see people's reactions when they don't get it or when they do get it. So thank you for playing. Thank you for coming on.
Yep.
Wonderful conversation, wonderful game.
it's my pleasure.
I actually like Luke Combs. I hadn't heard her before, but when I listened to the song, I did like it. So you introduced me to a new artist. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right.
I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So that was Thomas O'Toole, or Tommy as I call him. So I'd like to thank everyone so much for watching. That was our interviews today. We've had Cora Thompson, our first New York State guest, Thomas O'Toole from where I live. So thank you so much for watching. If you like golf and you want to join a team and you're from Norwell, join the Norwell. If you're obviously not a junior yet, you can join the junior varsity. It's in Rockland, or the varsity if you're a junior or above, also in Rockland. And if you want to accomplish something big, don't think it's out of reach, put it on a list and make sure to make a point to try and do something to help you achieve that goal. But I'd like to thank everyone so much for watching. Today I'm proud of myself because I didn't sneeze or anything, so that was nice. I didn't interrupt anyone. And also, I've had comments on the YouTube videos in the past saying that the audio is a little weird or something. I'm sorry if some people cut out randomly. It's just because if you're not listening to it for earbuds, Instagram is gonna take my voice over the guests, unfortunately, if they are talking. And I want to figure out a way so that doesn't happen, but for right now that's the only way it happens. So I apologize if I cut anyone off. I hopefully you heard everything everyone said. If you missed any part of it, of course, this is going to be on YouTube. So thank you everyone so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time at Daybreak. Bye everybody.